1 week on since the disappearance of American resident Jamal Khashoggi in Istanbul, and the US is still chasing answers.
I know nothing right now. I know what everybody else knows, nothing.
The US State Department insists it is pressuring the Saudis.
We're not going to make any judgments about what had happened to him. The United States is certainly concerned about his whereabouts. Senior officials at the State Department have spoken with Saudi officials through diplomatic channels about the matter. We call on the government of Saudi Arabia to conduct a thorough and transparent investigation.
At a Washington conference discussing current events in Saudi Arabia, concern for the journalist's disappearance bubbled under the surface. One human rights activist says the US must take much stronger action than just expressing concern.
I'd like to see the U.S. demand that the Saudis produce him, and if they can't produce him, produce a detailed explanation, including documentation, CCTV footage, whatever is necessary to demonstrate what did happen to him.
Donald Trump has forged close links with Saudi Arabia. His first foreign trip was to the kingdom. When he entertained Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman at the White House, he boasted of significant arms sales. He wants the Saudis to help rein in Iran's regional ambitions and to sell any White House Middle East peace plan to the Palestinians. But politicians on both sides in Washington say if what the Turks are saying is true, and Khashoggi was murdered in the consulate in Istanbul, then there has to be significant change to US-Saudi relations.
As an elected leader, we stand with you in the media in solidarity to making sure that this does not go unnoticed.
If this is true, if the Saudi regime murdered a journalist, critic in their own consulate, there must be accountability and there must be an unequivocal condemnation by the United States.
One Middle East expert says any change has to be well thought out.
But I do think it needs a recalibration, and I do think a very strong, unequivocal message needs to be sent to Riyadh that there are consequences for these kind of actions and that American support is not unconditional.
There's growing pressure on the Saudis to come up with answers about what actually happened in Istanbul. And if they don't, there's a growing number of politicians in the United States who say that must significantly change the relationship between the two countries. Alan Fisher, Al Jazeera, Washington.